Hello, everyone. This is the Team Sullivan podcast. I am Lumi, and we are joined here with Tandon.
Hi.
And our lovely host, Chris.
Hi, thanks for introducing me in such a lovely fucking way.
You're very welcome.
I can really tell those acting classes have really done you well.
They certainly have. I'm actually getting reprised in... Actually, wait, is that something that we should talk about? That also on...
No, we can talk about it.
What?
Okay.
I thought this was a bit.
No, what is it called? I mean, I've been locking in for my role in the new animation that Chris is working on.
The new hit series, Also an Artist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been a thing before, but now with less pedophiles, so we might as well knock that out while we can. Very quickly, before we get cursed, we've tried to do this in every podcast since this happened, and every time it's made the podcast be a failure, so we'll go over this very fast. Artist is a pedophile, getting it out there. Basically, if you want to figure out, like, what the fuck he did, just look in one of his comment sections. It's flooded with fucking people making fun of him and directing you towards what you need to do. We're not going to get too into it. I mean, we can if we want, but it's kind of a done deal at this point. It's been a fucking few years. So, basically, he's no longer affiliated with us. Nothing we do has anything to fucking do with him, except for this one thing, Also an Artist.
Him and his gang of Minecraft pedophiles.
What? Oh, yeah, what's with Minecraft and fucking pedophiles? I don't fucking know. Who was the last big Minecraft pedophile, besides Artist?
I don't know. Well, he's not big.
Not yet. Well, FNAF Roller Coaster got a decent amount of views, Tammy.
Okay.
Don't write FNAF Roller Coaster off.
I mean, can we count Dream?
Well, that was all not true. Like 90, I'm pretty sure like the whole Dream thing, like 90% of it ended up not being true. He's still a piece of shit, but he's like not a pedophile. At least he has that going for him.
Minecraft day and age, all you can ask for.
When you're in a Minecraft state of mind. I think the biggest bust had to be fucking Jinbop. He had like a whole fucking pedophile ring.
He also went to jail for it. Like he
went to jail.
He was like the ultimate like apex Minecrafter.
What's crazy is that he was involved in Fire Emblem, and I found out about him through that, and I was like, yeah.
What? He voiced?
No, he wasn't involved like in Fire Emblem, but like the community. And I was closely involved. Well, I mean, I wasn't closely involved, but I followed the community. And so I was like, this Jump Up guy seemed kind of cool. I wonder what else I'll do now. And I was like, oh, well, shit.
Uh-oh.
You were left alone in a fucking room with him, and he started eyeing your ass, licking his lips, and you're like, oh no.
What's poppin'? Yeah, it's Jimp Up here.
He's popping cherries, that's what's popping. Anyway. Quick, swiftly on to the next topic. This isn't on the topic list, but I was actually thinking of talking about my little vacation to Canada. Some things about that. More of like a casual topic to get back into it after all these years of inactivity. Boring alert. Boring alert. This story was extremely fucking boring. I'm just gonna splice in the only interesting part of it. One little story about that restaurant. The last time we went, like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, our waiter... This is the weirdest restaurant experience I've ever had in my life, and me and my family talk about it all the time. They didn't bring it up this year. They might have forgotten, actually, but I sure as hell didn't. Our waiter, like, fucked the girl that was, like, sitting next to us in, like, another booth. And, like, kept us waiting for, like, an hour.
Elaborate on that.
And you're probably wondering, like, how the fuck do you know that? Because it was very obvious. Because he came out, he got like our fucking like water, like what we were having to drink. Like I just got a fucking water because I was like 16, 17 at the time. And then he goes and talks to the chick sitting next to us for like 15 minutes, and then they go off together. And I'm like, I don't think she works here. But they go off together into the back room. And I'm like, okay. And then 30 minutes go by, and he comes out with his shirt unbuttoned, and her hair is all fucking all over the place. And I'm like, oh my god, they fucked. And I tell my dad that, and he's like, yeah, they definitely fucked.
Did you give him a bad tip?
No, I'm pretty sure we did. My parents were livid.
Yeah,
But I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And also, that was when I had the best salmon I've ever had, so I didn't really care. It was this salmon with like this like cranberry fucking glaze on it. It was amazing.
I like to be nice to my waiters, but I mean, if you leave me waiting for like an hour just to go fuck, then like, well, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem here.
We're gonna have a problem.
We're gonna have a problem, man.
Yeah, dude, that was the weirdest restaurant experience I think I've ever had. Like it's not a long story, but just the fact, like the audacity of that fucking happening is insane.
They kept you waiting for a bubble.
They kept us waiting because they wanted a fucking bone.
Like in a half an hour too.
Yeah, we got out at like 9 at night. We got in at like 6 or 7.
I'm surprised
it was
file
insane.
like a complaint, given they're white people.
You know what's really funny? That was like the worst waiter experience, and then this time our waiter was fucking amazing. He recommended like these like duck wings, and they were really good. We weren't gonna get them, but then he recommended. He was like very friendly and stuff, and I was like, "That's like a polar opposite."
The other
do
guy
that to you.
walking on the job.
Oh, I thought this was. The
I
same
feel like
waiter.
if you fuck on the job, you're not gonna last wherever you're working.
Or in the bed.
People are gonna figure that out.
Or in sex.
Well, we're back after that riveting ski story that I'm definitely going to have to edit down to be more concise. Hound is here to join us. First, technically not the first time on the podcast. The other recording I did not use.
No.
Because I am very picky.
You're so cringe.
But I will use this one. I can retell the story that I told in that one, if need be.
You remember that?
Yes, I remember shitting myself.
Wow.
That will be with me to the day I fucking die what happened that day.
With the story you told. As in, which story you told.
You know what? I kind of regret telling that in the first place, but here's the thing. I don't really talk to anybody from my high school anymore. And also, these get like 2 views. Hell, if I get famous in the future, then I guess they can come back and look at this and give me the fucking hardest album cover in history.
What does it matter?
Hand that to me on a silver platter.
When is the last time you see someone from school?
Xavier messaged me because he wanted the Demon Slayer movie. Anyway, here we go. So, when I was in high school, I started getting this little sensation in my little tummy started a rumbling, and I didn't know why. The story involves me shitting a lot with blood. It was very gross and nasty. And this started happening to me in high school, and I had no idea why. Now I do. It's because Advil triggers like an IBS like symptoms for me. I have no idea why. And if I take a single tablet of Advil or Tylenol, I shit blood for a month straight.
Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to explain why?
Tell me why, Dr. Lumi. This is Medicine Corner with
Lumi.
Professor Lumi. Play the theme song.
Da-da-da. Okay, so one of the side effects that Advil has is that it can cause GI bleeding. So, as a result, you shat out blood. That's all from the Medicine Corner.
I think I could have told you that.
I want that to have the happiest, cheeriest theme in human history.
So like,
Anyway.
so what? Is your body just guaranteed to proc that?
That's a guaranteed proc. It gives me poison
You're getting
damage.
guaranteed.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you.
I'm
eat
getting
with food.
guaranteed crits and additionals when I have Advil. Back to me shitting blood. So when I was in high school, I started shitting blood, and I was like, oh no. I don't know why this is happening. I literally didn't... I couldn't backtrace it. I thought it was just something that happened, and this started happening like the year before senior year. Like very light symptoms of this, and I was like, huh, that's weird. But it didn't slow me down, so I was like, whatever. And then senior year it got really bad. Like where I like literally couldn't eat anything or I'd be shitting all day. So for my senior year, I didn't eat breakfast or lunch for like half a year.
That's hilarious.
And then I'd go and work at Roadhouse for fucking 4 hours.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh, that's fucking ass.
So this was happening, and I was very depressed at the time, as previously stated in other podcasts, like in the earlier ones. When I was working at Roadhouse, I was a depressed little baby boy. And one day, I was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit, literally. I'm just gonna eat a big breakfast, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care what happens, because I'm depressed, and I just want to eat, because I'm fucking starving 24/7. So I ate, and the funny thing is a big breakfast for me at the time was peanut butter toast and like a fucking muffin. That was it. That's all I had. And then I go into school, and I actually felt fine that day. I felt completely fine. And then, come math class, my tummy starts grumbling. And I'm like, oh no, this is really bad. And you know, like, when you're sick and you have diarrhea, like, you like your stomach drops, your throat feels cold, and you're like, oh my god.
No,
I'm gonna shit
can't say
myself.
that I do.
You've never had that feeling?
No.
I have that feeling constantly. Anyway.
Oh my god.
I'm so used to that feeling that I'm able to describe it off the top of my head like that. Anyway, I'm like, math teacher, I need to go to the bathroom. And then she's like, all right, you can go. And then I skittled to the bathroom. I skittled like I never skittled before. And this is one of those bathrooms where it isn't like a one door and you're locked in situation. It's like a bathroom stall. I get into the stall, I pull down my pants, and as soon as I'm about to put my rosy little ass cheeks over the toilet bowl, I shit myself. I couldn't hold it in anymore, and I'm like, oh no.
We're so close, Chris. We're so close.
I'm not kidding. I was literally over the bowl, but like, I was like half over the bowl, and then it just went fucking everywhere.
Damn.
Just blood and shit everywhere. And I'm like, it was all over my pants and like all over the fucking floor. There was nobody else in there. And I was like, I need to go lock the bathroom door. I was gonna lock like the door to the fucking like stalls, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I actually had this game planned before. I'm like, this is the bathroom where if this happens, I'm doing it in here so I can lock the door. But then I hear the bell ring for like go between classes. And I was like, oh, fuck me. And then people start coming in. People start filing in. Because between fucking classes, kids liked to vape in there. I do not remember words that were exchanged. I just remember a ringing in my head. Like, I thought I was gonna fucking die. I heard, obviously, fucking laughing because the kid shit himself in the bathroom. This is actually kind of smart on my end. So basically, when I was in high school, I wore hoodies all the time, so I took my hoodie off and I put my head inside my shirt. Because people were trying to fucking peek through the stalls to see who it was.
God, I hate people.
And I had my head inside my shirt. And then I hear everybody laughing, and then they all file out. And then I'm like, oh my fucking god. I run, I lock the door. Once I figure out that there's nobody in there, I run, I lock the door. I clean off my pants for like 30 minutes. And I make sure that nothing smells at all.
Why didn't you go home?
No, this is where it's got it going. I skittled down to the nurse's office. And I'm like, I need to go home. I look like I got shot. I look like I saw somebody die. And I'm like, I need to go home. And they're like, why? They're like, I need to go home. I'm sick. No explanation. And my stepmom fucking picks me up. She's like, because I've never done this before. Like, if I go to school, my parents raised me to fucking, when you go somewhere, you go there till the end of the day, right? I go home, and then I just sit in my room. And I'm just, like, staring at the ground like fucking Pim in the first Smiling Friends episode. I'm just fucking staring at the ground. I'm like, oh my god, my fucking life's over. But it's high school, so, like, whatever. Anyway.
Literally.
And then
True.
I think I still had to go to work after this, too.
Damn.
and then
That's
and then my dad comes in, and he's like, why did you leave school? And then I finally, like, to the point where I can, like, utter words, and I'm like, a little bit of preamble. I told my parents about this months prior that this was happening to me, and they told me that nothing was wrong and that happens to people.
Truly.
And my stepmom told me that, oh, girls have periods every month. And I'm like, no.
I'm not a girl.
That was I think the most angry I've ever been with her. She's a fucking scientist, too. That was the most unassuring thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, she was trying to be reassuring with that, telling me that, and I'm like, no.
That's hilarious.
And then my dad came in and he fucking laughed. Then he walked out. And I'm like, he's like, you're still going to work. And I'm like, god fucking damn it. And then I went on with my life. And I went into school the next day fucking dreading it. I thought Tamden would never talk to me again.
Tamden, of all people, won't talk to you.
Yeah, Tamden would judge me differently. He wouldn't want to sit with Shitster.
I would never stop making fun of you.
Yeah, I know! I would have fucking killed myself!
Yeah, that would have been the punchline of every joke from then on.
Looks like you had a really
I told you
day.
about it too late for it to be funny.
Hey, Poopy McShitterton!
Tamden, you would have been my 13th reason anyway. So I go into school the next day, nobody says a fucking word to me.
You're like,
And
oh,
I'm
they
like,
know.
huh.
Now they're ignoring me.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of what it was, and then I talked to my cross country friends who were like kind of popular, not about that, just about random shit. They don't bring it up. Nobody, I haven't even heard a fucking peep about it, and like weeks start going by and months start going by, and I'm like, oh, this that nobody may
Nobody
have
gives a shit.
figured this out. Like I got away scot free, I thought. Then during cross country in like the fall, I was talking to my friend Ian. He was on a very early podcast that's now privated because of how we used to act, and also it was unedited and just like basically a long MP3 of us rambling. Anyway, I was talking to him and we were talking about album arts,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, dude, I have like the best album art ever." And like I'm gonna use this if I ever make music. And I'm like, "What is it?" And then he showed me the picture. To my utter horror, my face isn't in it, but my shoes and the pants that I'm wearing currently when I'm talking to him are in it, and it's me shitting in the stall with shit all over the floor. And he showed me the image, and he's looking at me, being like, "Isn't this funny?"
It's like,
And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty funny, dude." And then he goes back to his phone, and he is none the wiser.
Good thing you don't go to school with fucking Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and that's literally where it ends. Nobody knew it was me. Period. Ever.
It's hilarious.
And that makes me think, did somebody know and just didn't want to say anything because they knew it would fucking ruin somebody's life?
That's a lot of restraint for a high schooler. I'd be impressed.
Yeah,
if
that's what I'm
did.
saying.
I think no one wanted to actually get close enough to the shit to find out.
Nobody wanted to get to the area of effect of my shit.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to take poison damage to figure out who it was. And the thing is, the stalls were definitely wide. I think me hiding my head and taking off my hoodie saved me. Because I wore those hoodies all the
That's
time,
so
but I
funny.
like put it behind my back and tucked my head in my shirt. And the thing is, I wore hoodies all the time, so nobody probably knew what my fucking shirts looked like. And that's the shit story. To this day, I still have blood shits whenever I take Tylenol because I fucking hate headaches. But
we might need another break, huh?
it's less so now because I have medicine that really helps with it.
I have a story I could tell.
All right, shoot.
Tell your story. Kicks feet up in the air.
So I mentioned earlier that I was suspended from school. And part of the events that led up to such a thing is at college on campus, my car got booted because I parked where I wasn't supposed to, even though it wasn't a problem for like the entirety of the year. And then all of a sudden it was. Then they kind of targeted my car. But what happened initially was they gave me a ticket, and then I just kept that ticket on my car and acted like I never moved. So when the campus police were like coming by, they look at it and they go, "Oh, you already has a ticket," and then they leave me alone. This worked marginally for a little bit. I got 2 tickets, and then my 3rd ticket, I got a boot on my car. It was my fault at this point, obviously, but still, I didn't even have the money to like pay for the medications I needed, and so like I called the office that you're supposed to call because they put a giant sticker on your window and then they boot your car, and then the sticker tells you where to call. So I called them and I go, "Excuse me, I need this boot off my car, please." I was trying to pick it all day, and then I finally, like, it became like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, okay, I need to go home. I have a cat to feed and a grandma to take care of, so I gotta go do that. And so I call and I'm like, "Hey, I kind of need to get home. I need this boot taken off my car. I'll pay it next chance I get, blah, blah, blah." And the lady's like, okay. We'll send someone down right now to do it." And then she calls me back. They're like, "Sorry, you haven't paid your ticket, so we can't take it off." And I'm like, "I can't. It's going to be like a month before I can take it off. I have no other means of transportation. I'm a commuter. I need this off like right now." And I'm like, "I can't pay it right now. I can't even afford to pay like my medication. I cannot afford this right now. Like, I literally don't have the money." And then she goes, "Oh, well, call us back when you do have the money," and then hangs up on me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then so what I did was like, okay, well, I gave up on the lock picking, but I guess that's back on the menu. I prop up my car on jacks because I parked outside of my workplace, which is an engineering lab on campus. So we have car jacks and stuff like that, and so I put it on jacks. And then I take my entire wheel off my car. The thing is, my car is parked right on the route that they patrol, the campus police. So it's literally like a video game where I have to time me taking the wheel off my car, the lug nuts off my car, to the cycle of the campus police on golf carts patrolling the area.
You're fucking Solid Snake.
Sounds
I
like a
mean, it
regular
was
job.
literally like a solid snake mission.
Sounds like a
'Cause
regular
I had
job.
friends too who were like spotting for me. I had at least like 2 or 3 of them, and they were looking out. And then I finally get the wheel off my car and I carry it into the lab. And then I start working on the lockpick. And I just have friends who were doing their homework while simultaneously looking out the window because there were 2 places that had direct line of sight to my car. So they're looking and they're watching out for me. And they are with just 3 wheels on my car up on jacks. We're all over the phone. We're talking, and they'll let me know whenever the campus police comes by. And there'll be one cycle, and they'll be like, nope, they don't see it yet. And then another cycle. And it's like they don't catch it yet. They don't catch it, and I'm like, oh my god, these are the stupidest people ever. And then I finally, on the 3rd cycle, they're like, uh-oh, they're stopped, and now they're looking at my car without a wheel on it, and I'm like, I gotta hurry up. I have to hurry up right now. And so I'm just like, I make a bunch of makeshift lock picks, like in the lab on the grinding wheel and shit, with out of paper clips and sheet metal. And so I finally get the boot off my car, and then I go up and I like hide it in my guitar case. I go to the top floor where everyone is now because that's where everyone was looking, and I just like plop it down on the ground. They're like, what is this? What is wrong with you? What are you doing up here? And then I open the bag and they're like, yeah, and we just like rejoice. Of course, the next struggle is having to go put the wheel back on my car and leave. That took about like an hour. I go out there, I wait for the cycle. I have people on lookout, of course, and it looks like the shadiest thing alive. This black man just hunched over this car
with a jacked up
with a
car,
jacked
fucking
up
put in a tire.
Yeah. And I'm just rapidly like wrenching, and I'm like, I hope this is tight enough. I hope my wheel doesn't come off on the freeway on their way home. That would be the worst thing ever. I put it back on my car. I dropped the jack. I put the jack in my car, and I just I rev my engine because I'm a cocky bastard, and then I leave. And that is how I got the boot off my car. And they actually charged me. I had a friend of mine return the boot, saying it's like, oh yeah, I found this, while walking around, blah blah blah.
I found this.
Yeah, they charged me for stealing the boot later on, so that was cool.
They charged you for stealing it?
Yeah, even though I gave it back, but they charged me for stealing it, which was like $200 extra that I couldn't pay. And then afterwards, even when I parked where I was supposed to park, when I had my stickers and everything, all legitimate, they still gave me tickets. And one time they even gave me a ticket when I had a ticket already on my car. So they started targeting my car for a little while. Afterwards, my car got booted 3 times. And 3 times as in 3 boots on one car. And then 2 stickers on both the stickers that are really annoying to get off. I'm gonna take these ones off too. And then my friends convinced me not to do that. And so I didn't do that. And I paid the fine once I got my financial aid finally came in, because that's what I was waiting for this whole time, was my financial aid. But it came in right at the correct time, and like a day or 2 later I was able to get it off. But I slept on campus in the lab for 3 days, so that was fun. They just stranded me.
God.
How is
And
this
then,
legal? This is insane.
I don't
Are they
know.
like profiling
I cannot
you?
imagine like a school getting away with this shit, but I guess
I have a really
Yeah.
I have a nice and discernible car. That's that was kind of my main thing. It's not an inconspicuous car. It's a 2015 Corvette. So
God damn.
yeah, it wasn't a problem to park there until later, and they had no parking signs or anything like that. And then just all of a sudden I started getting ticketed, and I'm like, what the hell? And then they targeted me after that. And then after I got the 3 boots off my car by paying, I paid it legitimately, and they still gave me another boot and another ticket and 3 more tickets afterwards. And they just like hammered that on for me for like the next month, and it was the worst time ever. And I couldn't do anything to dispute it, which is why I sent a very, very angry message, which I thought it was an automated system that I was sending it to, because I didn't think this school cared enough to actually have people look at the appeals. But apparently there was, and their feelings were hurt, so I got kicked out for that. And now I was suspended for a
school?
semester. I was suspended for a semester, so I'm coming back this summer.
That'd be the cherry on top. That's just like, bye, you're fucking gone forever.
You want to know the funny thing?
After all that
funny
shit.
thing is, I'm technically not allowed on campus during my suspension. Never got ticketed. I still parked on campus in the same spot just to test. I didn't park there every single day like I was doing.
That is fucking ballsy.
Never got ticketed again after that. It was because at the time I wasn't sure that I was going to come back to the school. So I'm just like, okay, if you ticket me, it's through their systems. It's like if I get booted, I'm taking it off again, and I'm never coming back here. So at the time, but I am going back. So I haven't gotten a ticket since. Haven't gotten booted since. So yeah, that's cool.
Maybe the complaint went to the bitch who kept on ticketing your car, and then you made them run out crying like a movie, and then they never came back.
I guess so. I hope they never came back ever.
That is quite the fucking ordeal.
That is
It was quite the
I cannot
escapade.
believe that's legal for a school to do. That's just so crazy.
Tamden would have
Yeah.
ripped off the tire like the Hulk and threw it against the wall.
That's basically what I did.
My favorite part of the story is that you saw 3 boots on your car and you cracked your fucking knuckles.
Oh,
And
I
you're
got
like,
right
I
time
did
to
this
get to
once, I go
work."
do it 3 more times.
Yeah.
This is the speed run.
Yeah, I mean, I already got it down.
Cue up
first
the
time,
fucking
so
dream music. I got this.
I was ready. I was very prepared to do that.
Now here's a question. Do you think you could have done this like a lot faster knowing how to do it
Yes. Oh, easily.
another time?
Easily.
It wouldn't have been like such a long ordeal. You would have been able to just fucking like bam, bam, bam.
We have a golf cart for our lab, and we boot it. We have a key for it, obviously, but we boot it so that no one. It's parked outside of the lab, so no one like takes it, because that was a thing that would happen, is people would steal the golf cart and go on joyrides. So we boot it.
Yeah.
So I actually practiced on that, and so I successfully lockpicked that, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the one on my car, because it was the same type of boot. The one on my boot had a different keyway, which was funny, and so I had to relearn how to pick that one when I got it off, like got it on the wheel, and took the wheel off. So I had to re-practice on that. But now that I got it down on that, I definitely would have taken less time. I also bought a lockpicking kit, so that would be a lot easier, that I didn't have to use this jerry-rigged homemade stuff and actually use things that was built for the job.
That's an amazing story.
Isn't
Yeah.
Fuck me
Yeah.
shitting myself and going on a ski trip. That's the real story here.
it? Yeah. It was really cool.
So do you have to pay for like another semester of schooling? Are you gonna like have to do more time because of that?
Technically, well, yes and no. It's not as much as a full semester, but I do have to take more classes than I usually would in a semester to catch up, which sucks. That's what FAST was for, right? I'm sure future me will love having to deal with that.
Not gonna lie, I would have. I when it comes to situations like that, I like snap very easily. So I think I would have got.
Tamden would have broke down crying.
No, I would have
I
gotten.
can't do
I
it.
would have gotten mad. Which I think is worse, because I think that would
I
actually
mean,
get. If I like ran into the office, started screaming.
Tamden, they would have shot you if you ran in there yelling and throwing punches.
Probably like taste.
Probably, I don't think I'd like go into the. I'd just be like stuck there screaming in the parking lot all night until someone probably would fucking call the cops and go like, "There's some crazy fucking guy just screaming out of here."
Some guy with an afro fucking tipping cars in the parking lot.
I have another story similar to that, to exactly that situation, actually. It's a little more sad, though. Recently, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, unfortunately. Fun new piece of lore for you guys.
Jesus Christ.
So, my car currently is broken with its windshield smashed in, and my driver's side window also smashed in, because at the time I was going through psychosis, and so I was told that's what I needed to do in order to be fixed or whatever. So I smashed in my window, in my driver's side window. The unfortunate bit isn't my car, it's the fact that I did it in the school parking lot, because it was happening as I was about to leave the lab for the night. So then I like go in, I smash it. I'm having this mental breakdown, and the campus police eventually are called as I'm like screaming and shitting my pants in my car. Not literally, but
I was gonna say we were twinning.
and I'm there, and they show up, and at first they thought that maybe it was a bad breakup, and they thought I was destroying my ex's car or something, and so they wanted to see proof that I was the owner of the car. Like,
Okay, that's definitely fucking
profiling, probably.
yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly.
You sure you didn't steal this?
Yeah.
This is yours, and you're expecting
This
me
is-
to believe this?
I mean, come on now. Yeah, no, so I smashed the window in and stuff like that. So the campus police were called eventually, and they're like, okay, well, and then my friends came in, and they took me home, and the cops kind of left me alone after it was explained to them what was happening. So now I just have this broken thing. It's actually supposed to get fixed. Shortly after, the battery died on it, and so I couldn't get it into the shop, and so I have to get
God.
I just replaced the battery today and got fiberglass in my hand, so that was cool. So that's short, simple, sweet story.
Yeah. When this happened, by the way, he like sent a message into our other group.
Yeah.
Where he was like, by the way, I'm being abducted, so if I never see you guys again, thanks for everything.
That was a separate incident, but yes, yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, and I was like,
Well,
I
when
was
the
gone
aliens
for
were
like a
probing
month.
your ass, what the fuck do you mean?
And then I was gone for like a month.
Tim, what the fuck did you think when you saw that message?
well, I initially took him at face value, and I'm like, okay,
Okay, well,
Yeah,
everyone hounds
well,
dead.
briefly, I took him at face value, and then I remembered, well, he did tell us he got diagnosed with schizophrenia, so there's a very good chance this is just a mental thing.
in episode.
Yeah, so and after a while, we decided, yeah, that's probably what it was. I was like crime watching, basically. I'm like, I'm just gonna check Arizona
Look
news.
around the area.
Yeah, I was like, just making sure. I don't see nothing about nowhere Aaron Johnson popping up. I think we're fine in that department.
That is the worst thing, because now like half the things I'll ever say to anyone that knows is gonna be like, well, is it an episode or is it not an episode? I'm on medication now, so the likelihood of me having an episode is drastically decreased. But
Yeah, I'm just
you
saying,
never
if
know.
you get like abducted for real, you're on your own, man.
Are
Yeah,
you on
I'm
pills
cooked.
or are you taking?
Judging by the reaction in that chat, I'm cooked. You are not the people I would go to for help.
I am curious. Are you on the injection or are you taking pills?
I'm taking pills.
Because I took care of a patient who had schizophrenia, and we did home visits with them, and that was something
I'm
that we were
so
trying to
sorry
get
for
for. Yeah. Honestly, that taking care of that patient was a good experience for me. I do want to go into mental health, so I was glad that I was paired up with a patient like that for my home visits. I mean, he was pretty chill, like honestly. Well, he did say like some sus stuff, like especially towards
sure.
women.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think that's the schizophrenia.
think
I
that's-
say-
And then next time Lumi went to go see that patient, he didn't wear his iconic flannel skirt.
real.
Yeah, I did not want to tempt fate with that one.
God damn. Well, everyone has a story. All heads turn to Tamden. Do you have any stories, little Tamden Dorgy?
No.
You just yapping in the corner? You yipping and yapping over there?
It goes on in my life. You know what? Maybe that's for the better.
Yeah. You want this stuff to happen to you?
No, not really. I'm just living.
Are my fabrications true where you just stare at the wall with drool coming down your face?
drool.
24/7.
I do that on weekends, like for an hour after I wake up. I just sit there, like,
Okay.
that state where you wanna try to go back to sleep because you still got time to do whatever, and you just can't. And you're stuck in like trying to go to sleep for an hour, and you just can't.
Me and Roach were talking about this earlier. I was watching, like, we used to be in an SMP called Full Moon, like a Minecraft server, back in 2016. And in the first episode, Nate says the N-word.
That's awesome.
I was not Sorry, Hound, for all this N-word talk today.
No,
It keeps
no,
on
no,
coming
no.
up.
He says it like
you're barking up the wrong tree for that.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I think that's the funniest part. In most friend groups, the ones saying slurs are the non-white people, and they don't give a fuck. And
No. Well, he's allowed to say it. That's the thing. Like a little white boy saying it.
Sure, but in most
Is
cases,
what the issue
I don't
is.
care if you call me a king. I doubt Aaron would care very much if I call him the N-word right now.
No, I wouldn't care.
Don't do
it. I would have died laughing probably. Just thinking about it.
Well,
makes
that's
me
the thing. You
explode.
don't know.
Yeah,
You don't know with people. How do you fucking come up with that in a conversation?
Me and him, as minorities, we have authority on this subject, and we can tell you. Most of us don't give a
Minorities with authority. That's the name of this
Most of us
episode.
don't actually care. In most of the cases, we're goading people into saying it just because we think it's really funny to see that they're not going to because they're white, and white people are terrified of saying anything.
If you wanted,
Well, the thing is as a white person, you do have to be careful.
Yeah,
because you don't.
obviously
Because people
it's
are
a
gonna
little
fucking end you over anything.
different, but in the confines of a little square where you're just chatting on friends.
friend group.
Yeah. Like I could call Aaron the N-word right now. He'd call me chink. We would not care.
We wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Well, that's good that you two have that rapport, but
I find
Obviously,
genuine
I'm
racism.
just
the
saying,
most
like,
funny.
obviously, shouldn't
I'm not
put that
gonna walk
energy
up to
out.
a
That should
stranger
stay.
and call him the N-word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stays within the group. You don't say
That's
that in
different.
public.
Yeah,
or-
I'm saying within the group though.
Yeah, within a group, that's fucking fine. I don't fucking care.
It's-
I say really fucked up shit in private calls.
It's hilarious. I find genuine racism like really funny. If someone like actually walked up to me on the street and called me the N-word, I would probably bust out laughing. It affects me so little.
Racist jokes can be funny. I'm not
even
having
if
that
they
in the
said it with their
episode.
even if they said it with their 100% serious, I would find it hilarious.
I think the humor comes from just the audacity of someone genuinely believing that. Like,
That's
are
what
you a
I'm
fucking
saying.
cartoon?
It's so.
Do you hate someone based on their fucking skin
And
that
also,
much?
I don't know. Just saying it is funny
Okay.
because it's like everyone knows in most cases you don't mean it at all, and that's why it's funny. Some things are just funny by just by proxy.
By the audacity
I
of it,
remember
like you saying that
I remember
to
seeing a
someone.
Twitter talking about how someone was confused about oh, why do men act as if you talk about make gay jokes as if it's the funniest thing on the planet, and someone's like, you don't understand that all straight men think gay sex is the single funniest thing in the planet. Like,
It's
she's right.
true.
She's absolutely right.
I think it's funny and I like dick.
Like, how does that even work?
It is the funniest thing on the planet to any man.
I will say, I think it's a little bit funnier to straight guys.
Yeah, because it's always funny. It's funny.
Yeah, because it's like absurd. It's absurd to you. You would never think of doing that. You would never think of somebody in that way. So there's humor in the absurdity.
Two straight male friends will interact, and I guarantee you, at one point in the conversation, they will talk about they will just out of nowhere, like, I'll fucking suck your dick right now if you don't shut up. It's just funny.
Why don't you kiss me about it then?
Yeah, it literally. I don't think that makes it homophobic. It's just funny.
Funny.
Sex is the funniest thing ever to straight dudes. Like how saying "ching chong bing bong" is the funniest thing ever to me, or how Aaron calling our other black friends stinky apes is the funniest thing ever to him.
For me, I really like Chinese, Japanese. What are these? That's my favorite one.
Fucking Family Guy.
Chinese,
Yeah.
Filipinos. Type of
That's what
are
Lumi
you?
is.
Oh yeah, you're the only white person.
Yeah, I'm
Lumi's a
Filipino.
Filipini.
You're really
Yeah, I'm
Cracker.
Filipino.
He's a little teeny Filipini.
Yeah.
Cracker has no power behind it, but it's such a fun word to say. Cracker.
Yeah, cracker.
Cracker has zero power.
Did you know you can't say cracker on Twitch?
And
Huh.
No, it counts as a slur. They'll ban you.
Did you know if you look up cracker in tenor, it won't show anything?
How does that count as a slur? That offends nobody. If a white person gets offended by that, you should definitely raise an
if a
eyebrow.
white person gets offended by that, they are a white supremacist. There's no way around it.
Yeah, you might want to reconsider the fucking
there are
friendship.
white flags for actual racists. And okay, so if your name is Kyle, you're definitely racist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There are no good Kyles.
The one in our school was like albino as fuck.
There are no good Kyles in the world. I don't know if ours was racist, but he was a pedophile or an ephebiophile. Well, he was a pedophile.
No, he
Yeah.
was a pedophile. He shared around images of a minor. We talked about that. In a
Oh my
previous
God.
podcast.
There's also Kyle from Fanboy and Chum Chum. He's the bad guy.
I have to cut out like this whole. I'm not putting any. I'm not putting like the latter half of this fucking.
Oh, what
in,
if
Jesus
someone
Christ.
tries to cancel me? I don't fuck you. I'm from Tibet. What are you gonna do, you whitey? So if some white person, if some white person tries to cancel me, I'll ask them, "Hey, what do you know about Tibet?" And they'll be like, what is that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there you go."
And then Tamna starts doing the fucking Yakko Warner dance, telling about the history of Tibet.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, "Oh, no."
He'll tell them about his trials and tribulations. Tamna, doesn't it suck that you lost the fucking soccer match against the Chinese and they booted you out?
Forgot about this from the Boondocks.
And they got the prized pig.
The Boondocks, right? He's like, "I come to fight for the honor of Tibet." I was gonna say, I feel like that's a reference to that. There's a character in the Boondocks who was like, "I come to fight for the honor of Tibet and kill all the Chinese," and he showed up to a soccer game, and he was voiced by Zuko. Yeah, Jing Mei.
That's fucking funny.
Jing
That's
Mei.
really funny.
Wait, that's a real name,
Jean Mei?
Jing Mei. But normally it's I don't know if it's like
Is it a Tibetan?
yeah. I think normally the end is silent though, because most of the time you hear Jing Mei instead.
Tamden, if you had like a litter of kids, would you name them like Tam Bin, Tam Tin?
Amdin is not a common Tibetan name at all.
Can you name your kids like versions of Tamden just for the joke?
Ten, Tamzin.
You should tell them about
Tam
your
Tam.
child's name.
The name Tenzin, that is literally that's the John of Tibetan names. Like that is the most generic. That's why when I saw Korra and I saw a character named Tenzin, I just groaned and fucking put my face on my hands like, okay, they're trying to.
Isn't that your sister's name?
That's my sister and my dad's name.
That's so funny.
One of my old best childhood best friend. His name was I called him Mila. I didn't realize for a very long time that's not his real name. I think it was his middle name. You know what his real name was? Tenzin.
Do you resent him?
Yeah, it is the most generic common name because it's the name of the Dalai Lama right now, so it'll be like skyrocketing in popularity. But it was also always just a popular name.
This is a very personal thing, but if you go back and listen to the podcasts, whenever we talk about video games or anything too nerdy, I cut it out.
Yeah.
That's a personal ick of mine.
Personal ick.
when listening to I will say I edit these to be a podcast that I would actually listen to. So whenever we if you go back and listen to any of the ones that are public, we don't talk about a single video game.
We're not gamers.
What about the parts where
So
we're referencing
sad.
Dokkan?
Especially those. Especially those.
On the Christmas podcast, the only comment is Dan saying that he misses the podcast.
When was
I
the
missed
Christmas
the one.
podcast? How many years ago was that?
2. He's probably dead. He sat there starving like Fry's dog in Futurama.
I
He's
feel
fucking
like
dead.
Fusion watches these still.
Fusion watches these while like jelking.
Yeah, he's like, God,
And his dick, his dick looks like a Play-Doh where you fucking like slam it between your hands and roll it.
Oh, okay.
It's like that from
awful.
too much
Hi,
jelking.
buddy.
You need to die for that. I
Oh
think.
yeah, speaking of jelking your fucking fat fucking cock to get longer so you can fuck more bitches. There was a kid in our I don't think we've ever told this story, Tamden. There was a kid in our school who he was like this like big military guy. He took steroids.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the year, he was like super skinny, and by the end of the year, he was fucking jacked, like
No, I
way
remember
too
when we were
jacked.
shadowing Matty D. He was rail thin. I'm like, oh, he's like, and then he all of a sudden one day he was huge and jacked.
I think it was over the summer.
Yeah.
This kid with a dick pump. There's this like military guy. He liked to brag a lot about getting big and getting a big cock. Maybe he got scared about the rumor about steroids making your dick small. I don't even think that's true.
I can confirm that as a side effect.
He said that he bought a dick pump to me and my friend Luke. He was on the podcast. I was like, okay, cool. He's not really my type, so I didn't really question him about it. Anyway, a week later, he comes in and he seems kind of down. And Luke was like, what's the matter? And he was like, yeah, I popped a blood vessel in my dick with the dick pump, and now
Oh my
I can't.
God.
Now I can't maintain an erection. Basically, is what it came down to. He fucking like popped his cock in the dick pump.
He's very
my God.
open with this knowledge.
He was just telling everybody. The teacher was standing right there, and he was talking about popping his dick in a
No.
fucking
Oh
cock.
my
Very
God.
And I was like, okay.
knowledge. I'm astounded that he openly shared all of this.
Yeah.
He thought it was funny. There were chicks at the
What?
other table all laughing about it.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was pretty goddamn funny. I laughed pretty hard.
Yeah, good for him for being able to laugh at himself.
Another weird thing that happened at that table, I was fucking taking off my hoodie, and I was like right off the heels across country. And John was like, you have abs? And I was like, yeah. And then Luke's like, damn, nice. And I got compliments from the whole table. And I was like, damn, thanks.
Super ripped and jacked.
I was super, I want to get into that shape again.
I mean, as long as you're consistent, you'll make progress. That's the mindset I've just adopted. And I've been working out for 2 years, so...
Yeah, you're fucking jacked, Lemmy.
Yippee!
That
Yeah.
affects that.
I just never stopped. Like, it was easy for me to start because I had friends who knew, like, what to do for working out. Because my biggest hurdle was that I didn't know the proper way to work out. I didn't know that you should do your sets consecutively. I thought you had to, like, pace them out, like, hours from each other.
Yeah,
And I
no.
was like, oh.
No.
And so, like, that
Technically,
really
good.
helped.
In
Luby
theory.
just sitting in the gym, just lying on the floor.
I would just like, cause like I'd work out at home, so I would just like do like one set. And I was like, okay, that's one set, and then I'd like come back like after dinner.
You'd like go
okay,
mow the fucking
let's-
lawn or go bring Angel somewhere, and then you'd come back and do another
Oh,
set.
I'm tired.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, oh,
That is the funniest imagery of someone doing like one curl and then just walking away, leaving
that's
the room.
that was basically my biggest hurdle, and then I got over that. So it's like, okay.
I mean, that's
well,
a pretty easy hurdle once you like talk to someone because they're gonna just cock their head at that. They're gonna be like, "What?"
Well, it's also just like I didn't tell anybody that I would do that, but I kind of figured out from doing it with them. It's like, oh, you're supposed to do the sets like all
Well,
At
that probably
once.
saved you the embarrassment.
Yeah, yeah, which was good on my part that I never
Right.
like actually like mentioned that. But that was the biggest reason why I could never actually get like really strong. Now that I know, I'm now pretty efficient with exercising. So,
Yeah, you could probably beat my ass, Lemmy.
I
Pin
mean,
me to
I
the ground and fucking concuss me.
I also have
Let's
martial
see.
art experience, so that's not very fair of a matchup.
Yeah, I would need to have Tamden to train me in his boxing. Oh yeah, Tamden knows how to box everyone, so don't cross him.
I know the like absolute basics of it. I did training with my uncle for like a month and a half during the summer.
Tamden, when you were in VR boxing, I was afraid of you.
That game is hard because just knowing the basics, I'm afraid, does not help.
In a VR game, I imagine not.
I mean, no, if you see videos of actual boxers playing that game, like it If you know how to actually do it, it helps. But like, I know how to do the punches, and I know how to pivot and like move around. That's about it.
I mean, that's better than my nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the muscle memory stays. Like, I don't practice like regularly at all, but like, I still know how to throw every punch.
You know what I would do in a fight? I'd sprint away, and I'd get away probably, unless if they were faster than me.
There's a way to stance up, like, so you're basically always at an advantageous position.
My dad did give me like a rapid fire self-defense. I don't remember any of it besides what stance you should take. And he told me like a sideways kind of stance.
How sideways? Because like...
Not like a fucking like Goku like stance or anything. Not like a Goku versus Vegeta stance, but like kind of sideways where you can still throw a punch.
Your dominant foot forward, or not your dominant foot.
Yeah.
Dominant foot back. I think the hardest hurdle is that like, if you make a fist right now, is your fist at like at an angle, or is it like flat?
Is it not supposed to be? I imagine not.
Well, normally it's supposed to be flat, but mine's kind of at an angle, which makes actually like the process of actually landing my knuckles on a target feels awkward because my wrist has to kind of artificially bend.
Is that where you're supposed to make contact with when you punch someone?
The knuckles, yeah. Well, the knuckles and like the, part of your fingers below the knuckles.
As of today's date, the Knuckles show just released, and apparently it is one of the worst things to ever come out. And the funny thing is with me, people can tell me that something's the best thing ever. Like Tamden told me Chainsaw Man's like one of the best things he ever read, and it took me like 3 years to finally get to it. This Knuckles show being such a shitstorm, I want to watch it immediately.
I was telling you to read it for so long, and then you read it and like, wow, you're right. I really did like that.
No, it is one of the best things I've ever read.
Like, I told
it's
you.
definitely up there. No, that's the thing. That's been like our friendship. I almost said relationship. Our friendship in a nutshell.
You're moving a little too fast.
Yeah. When I gave Tamden fucking sensual neck kisses. No, but me and Tamden, when we were in high school, we constantly told. I don't think I recommend him things anymore after what happened recently, but I'll get to that. Me and Tamden used to recommend each other things a lot, and we would never get to it. Like, he recommended to me JoJo, and it took me, like, years to get to it.
What happened recently? I don't know what you're talking about.
What happened recently between me and Tamden is we had a bet going. This was, like, 2 years ago now, I think. He came up with Pound and some of his other friends to see me in New York. Well, not really to see me, just kind of to hang out in the town.
No, we came up to see you. I promise you, I was not feeding to go to Plattsburgh.
Okay, he came up to see me and my cute little ass, and I shook it around.
There's nothing to do in Plattsburgh. We just came to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better about myself. Anyway, so he came up to see my cute little ass. I'm too irresistible. That's exactly the reason you heard Tamden say it himself. He thinks I'm cute. And when he was up here, I started doing my I'm not going to do it here because this is a part of the bet. I did my Steven Universe voice, and I did it consistently, and Tamden's friends started doing it too with me, and it was driving Tamden fucking insane.
It was driving me fucking insane on the way back. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was you and Tamden in the front seat. And the loudest I've ever heard Tamden scream, I was doing a parody of fucking that Drake song.
I know
what is it? Like
In My Feelings?
No,
in
like,
my feelings.
It was one I know. I don't know a lot of Drake songs.
Passion Fruit.
Trying to be Steven. It was basically, I don't think it's a Drake song. Trying to be Steven. Trying to be Connie. And we kept on saying that on repeat. It was mostly me and Jude, I think.
Yeah. He picks up all your fucking habits, and anytime he's around you, he starts doing them.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I fucking love the guy. And Tamden, at the top of his lungs, he's like driving, and it's really dark out, so I kind of got afraid. He's like, shut the fuck up! Shut up! He was like, that's the maddest I've ever seen Tamden. He was like genuinely, he was trying to drive, and I was driving him insane.
No, you drove
and then
me
when we got
insane.
back,
oh my god.
And then when we got back, I kept doing it, and he's like, oh my god, you have to stop. You have to fucking stop. And I'm like, okay, let's make a bet. As I said earlier, fucking me and Tamden, it's always hard to get us one another to experience something. My favorite movie trilogy to this day is Back to the Future. I told Tamden, hey, how about this? You and me, we have until the end of the year, because he came up on New Year's. You have until the end of 2023 to fucking watch all 3 Back to the Future movies with me. He's like, alright, deal. And I stopped doing the Steven voice. I will admit, during the rest of his stay, it was extremely hard to keep that promise. Because everyone else kept doing it because they knew I was having the bet, and it was driving me. It started driving me insane, which I guess I kind of deserved.
You do deserve it.
And then, when they all left, Tamden pulled a Tamden, and it took him a calendar year to watch all 3 movies with me. I feel like it was a little bit intentional. It took him until like the summertime of last year to fucking watch the first movie with
I
me.
promise you, I did it. I literally, we watched the third movie like right before New Year's. I promise you, I did it out of spite.
The second movie was kind of after the first movie. It was like a month or 2,
Yeah,
and then the third movie,
after that,
like Camden just said, was right at the
after
end.
that, I intentionally waited until basically New Year's, and then I realized I might be have something to do on New Year's, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way.
Yeah, he almost fucking missed it. He wasn't even at home. He could have easily missed it. And the bet was, is if he failed, I get to do the Steven
That's
voice,
why
so he would have paid
I
tenfold.
was going out of the country for an entire month for vacation.
And it ended up being way more than... it ended up being like the entire summer, right?
No. That was winter.
Oh, yeah, right, sorry.
Yeah, winter.
I was thinking of you go on so many trips, I fucking can't keep track. He waited until the last second, and now we've watched all 3 Back to the Future movies. And I will say, Lumi was a lot easier. That was like... I think we literally watched 2 movies back to back.
I gotta be like no right. It's very hard for me to like. I can like really like binge something, but if I stop binging it, I'm like I'll go cold turkey. Like again, I read all like up to I think Skypiea in very like rapid success.
Yeah, you still haven't continued it, have you?
Granted, that is also because I was not very interested in Skypiea, but like I need to get back into it because I know what comes after is like
The best arc in the series.
yeah. So it's the same thing with Hunter x Hunter for me right now. I read all like Hunter x Hunter up until the Chimera Ant arc, which is the most universally praised arc from it by
Yeah, everyone loves that arc.
and I was like excited for it. I really liked Hunter x Hunter so far, and then I just haven't gotten to it yet. Granted, I've been a bit busy with the other stuff, but like it's just not high on my priority list. If I'm not doing schoolwork, then I'd rather just be doing something else than like sitting down to read.
Like fucking jelking and using your dick pump.
Yeah, which is weird because I can reread stuff I've seen before. Like I reread most of Ippo, which is even longer than One Piece.
It is?
Yes, by a lot actually. It's I think it's almost at 1,500 chapters.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
And
One Piece isn't even projected to
Isn't
be
that
that
old
long.
as shit?
Yeah, it's very old and it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
Damn.
So because of Tamden being a bigger weeb than I am, and also how hard it is to make him watch something, I always thought this is mean. This was a very mean assumption, but I thought he was kind of illiterate when it came to like movies. But like in the past year, I've been asking him about movies, and he's watched way more than me, and that really surprised me.
I really don't watch.
Yes, you are. You've watched way more movies than I have.
I used to watch way more movies, but nowadays, like it's like the bottom on my like list of things.
You saw like fucking Alien. You've seen Rocky. You've seen
all the classic film like that. No, there's no. I'm obs-
Yeah, no, I haven't seen 90%. Me and Lumi watched fucking what's that movie with the guy in Akatomi Tower? Die Hard. We watched the first Die Hard a few years back. I think it was around Christmas because of the funny meme. Haha, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
You know, there's a funny thing about
It's not.
Die Hard. I thought that Die Hard...
He dies hard.
No. I confused Die Hard with Kill Bill. So when my friend asked me if I've seen Kill
Those
Bill,
are
I
not the
said
same
yes.
movies at all.
Yeah, when I said that, when my friend asked me if I watched Kill Bill, I was like, yeah, of course I've seen Kill Bill. And then he told me about the plot. I was like, what the fuck? That is not what happens. And then I explained to him, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, okay. And then I watched Kill Bill. That's pretty good.
Lumi, I feel like if you never got into nursing, we would have seen every like piece of media in existence. I'm convinced of that.
Maybe if COVID like lasted for like another year, we could have reached enlightenment.
I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been one of the longest podcasts ever. I'm gonna definitely be trimming this down. We've been here with Lumi,
Here.
Hound,
Present.
Tamden,
Bye.
and your pot Opie. I'd like to thank you all for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.
You kill yourselves.